to the really important stuff.
Yay.
Sport.
So we got ESPN notifications just before we started that Atlanta Braves, show them the shirt, Zeus. The Atlanta Braves, Freddie Freeman. Actually, you know what?
MV Freeman.
Let me do a gallery view. All right, show them the shirt again.
All right.
There you go. So MVFree lived up to his name. He is the National League most valuable player. Well deserved. I think anyone who's been following the game and saw his metrics knew that was going to happen.
My father-in-law owes me a beer.
Yes, yeah. Go collect.
I'm done.
There was a while there towards the end. Sorry, before the end of the season, where people were like, "Oh, Fernando Tatis might get it," but he kind of fell off towards the end. Freeman was pretty consistent. Freeman, you could argue, fell off a little bit in the playoffs because it was Duval and Ozuna and Darno that picked up the pace.
I can say that he kind of I feel like, because I only watch the playoffs, right?
Mm-hmm.
I do feel that he kind of, I wouldn't say disappeared, but there was times where you kind of really didn't get as much as you thought you would get from him.
It wasn't star player type of.
Yeah. Like Ozuna did. Ozuna's a star.
Ozuna came clutch, came correct.
That guy's about to get banked. He's about to make bank.
And you know what? He deserves it. Yeah. The pitchers came through as well. But yeah, I wish Freeman had come through more. Perhaps we could have gotten over the hump of the Dodgers. But I think the future is bright for the club. So yeah, MVFree, you got it. Want to move on to football? Recap of the last.
Do it.
All right. Who did we play in week 8? Is it the Panthers?
So so real quickly, Zino and I, this selection took so much out of us that I don't think we really could fit in a podcast. So we didn't get a podcast in last week. We didn't get an episode in. So we didn't get to talk about the Panthers versus the Falcons game, which was the game that came out on Thursday. So that's what we played on Thursday. We beat them.
I think we had an episode. Yeah, I think we did talk about it.
We talked about it because it was playing that night.
No. We talked about it because we recorded on a Saturday or
Detroit Lions. I'm sorry. No, we talked about the Detroit Lions.
Yes, because the Detroit Lions played on Sunday, and then we played the Panthers on Thursday, and we didn't record on Thursday. We recorded after that because we talked about both. Yeah, yes, so we're good. We're good on the Falcons.
We're good on that. So the only thing we have to look, you guys are catching us in the editing process. Anyways, so we actually only need to talk about the Falcons versus. Damn it! Who did we just beat?
Broncos.
Broncos. Real quick question. Can I ask you a question? Were you ever scared during the fourth quarter?
No, I wasn't scared. I was annoyed. I was annoyed that they were making it close, but I didn't think the Broncos were going to win that game. Yeah, I thought Matt Ryan looked really good. Yeah, he threw a pick. Honestly, I just like some of his picks are kind of annoying because it's like, why, dude? Like, why are you doing this?
Well, honestly, I looked at that pick, and that pick actually was like that was kind of one of those a pick that a quarterback throws. Like,
yeah.
No quarterback. I don't think there's ever been a quarterback that hasn't thrown a pick. So,
but I mean, he's had picks this season where he's like, he throws it, someone tips it, and then they catch it, and you're like, it's whatever. Or it's like one of those tight coverage type of things, and then it's like, 50-50.
I credit this one to the pressure.
Yeah.
Because he had to throw it, and he kind of threw it off. And then, honestly, I was telling someone, I actually think that was more Zacchaeus than him. I think that was more.
No. It wasn't Zacchaeus in that. I thought it was like Blake or something. Because Zacchaeus.
Well, either way.
Yeah, Zacchaeus was the first one that he threw.
I don't feel that they ran their route right. I don't feel that they turned on the route the way they were supposed to turn, and that's why he ended up having to play defender, because the guy catches it and oh boy, is still running straight. I think he was supposed to turn. I don't think he ran his route right, so I blame that more on the wide receiver, because if the wide receiver had turned, he would have gotten it right. They would have been right there in his hands. So
yeah. I'm pretty sure that was like Blake, because Zacchaeus was the one that was like that deep touchdown reception. That was a really good throw, but that's another one that hung in the air a while as well. I was a little scared when it was in the air, but Yeah,
No, that Zacchaeus touchdown was a dime.
yeah. It was.
It went right in his pocket. You know what it reminded me of? Of the year 2016, that Taylor Gabriel catch during the first Green Bay game. I'm more of a nerd for the Falcons than Zeno is, so I have these like.
It's just the Taylor Gabriel catch in the first Green Bay game. Like, I don't know
In
what that.
2016. Whatever. Anyways, it was a dime. So honestly, the Falcons, I think, beat them in. I don't know about special teams, but they beat him in all the other two phases. And then also they say Drew Lock is one of those second half kind of quarterbacks. So
Yeah, we
it
saw
just
it in the
ended up that he
stats.
just couldn't get it back.
Yeah, we saw it in the stats. He was like coming back, like, all right, come on now. But I was not as worried as I had been in previous games. Like in the Detroit game, when that was happening, I was actually no, that's not a good example. The Bears game, when that was happening, I
You're
was
like,
like, oh
crap, we're about to
no,
lose.
yeah. But I never felt that way with the Broncos game. Yeah. So we have a bye this week. And then we're coming back with the Saints. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're going to be playing the Saints. I believe it's the Chargers or the Raiders. The Saints. Oh, let me pull that up. Look, this is why the Dan Quinn era should have ended a long time ago, because
4 NFC South games, 3 AFC West games.
Yeah, it's an incredible. It's honestly it's a look. So look, it's brutal. New Orleans, Las Vegas, So let me tell you where. At New Orleans, Las Vegas, here in Atlanta. New Orleans here in Atlanta. At Los Angeles. So you got to think about that time difference too, right? I heard that affects a lot of players. And then we come back, we play Tampa, which Tampa Bay is probably at that point going to be like, they might be hot as hell, right? They might be the team to beat. Kansas City, that's going to be a hard team to beat regardless. And then Tampa Bay again.
Yeah.
So it's
9-7.
Yeah. So 9-7. I like that. Who are we losing? Who you predict?
Kansas City.
Okay. So I like that. We're sweeping the Saints and the Buccaneers.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's
shout out to Easy and M16.
Right. We're gonna whoop you guys. No, so honestly, that's the only chance the Falcons have. The Falcons have to sweep their division and then see where everything else falls. But if they don't sweep the division, they go 5-1, then there's no conversation to be had about anything else.
Yeah, I can definitely agree. Unless there's a bunch of teams that's all of a sudden collapse, and then we can sneak in at 8-8, which isn't going to happen.
Unless the AFC just starts destroying NFC teams in those interdivisional, interleague matchups or whatever, interconference matchups. That's what they called.
So real quickly, I just wanted, and I didn't mention this in pre-production, so I apologize, but I want to throw something at you, right? So I was reading where they were talking. So remember a while we talked about the 5 potential coaches?
Okay.
I just recently read 5 potential GM candidates. So again, people, this is a surprise. Didn't know that I was going to come up with this, but I want to read these names out to you. I want to read off the teams that they belong to, and then the title that they currently have. And you tell me which one you think sounds good, because I don't really know them, obviously, because who the hell is I'm a big fan of that VP of personnel. Really? But all right, so we have Scott Fitterer. These are people that have been named. I read this at a local station, 92.9 The Game. They put up an article and they were talking about this. So we're going to talk about it because we're obviously like a radio show too. Scott Fitterer, Seahawks VP of Football Operations.
Okay.
Trent Kirshner, Seahawks VP of Players Personnel. By the way, both of them interviewed for the Colts position 4 years ago. GM and
Colts GM position.
Yeah. Ryan Poles, Chiefs Assistant Director of Player Personnel. Dan Morgan, the Bills Director of Player Personnel. And then Andy Whitey, the Eagles VP of Player Personnel. Let me know if you need me to repeat the where they're from.
Repeat the first one, not where they're from, but what his role was. Seahawks.
VP of Football Operations.
I would think that's because everyone else you mentioned were player personnel folks, and in my head, and maybe I have a misunderstanding of what player personnel VP does, But in my head, I wouldn't think that's where we have an issue. I think if I actually think the Falcons. Okay, let me explain what I think player personnel is, and you tell me if I'm like way off base. It's like chemistry building, right? Getting players for a fit, and like this is the type of culture, and yada yada.
How about instead of how about I read to you what supposedly they do?
Sure. Okay.
So supposedly a director of player personnel. The director of player personnel is a management position within a sport organization whose main job is to support the athletes on the team. He also helps in player trades and acquisition, including being directly involved in recruiting or scouting new players for a team. So basically, kind of like they handle the scouting and the, I guess the money part. That's what a director of player personnel. So I can only imagine that's also what the VP of player personnel does.
I don't know. I like the football operations thing better. I honestly think where we've been lacking for a long time is organization, right? Like we've had the players, we've had the talent, we haven't put it all together.
Okay. Yeah, because so the president, this is the director of football, right? So I guess it's the same thing, football operations, right? The presence of a director of football acts as an intermediary between the manager and the board and may relieve pressure on a manager by handling aspects away from day-to-day coaching, allowing a manager to focus on pitch performance. I guess that sounds baseball, but I'm pretty sure it's the same with the directors of hold on. Yeah. So it's pretty much, you get the idea of what they basically do.
I think I like that guy better. That first guy. Okay. Federer.
Fitterer. So you're saying you would go with you think Scott Fitterer sounds like a good idea for you?
Yeah.
Right. I eliminated.
I missed my 9 o'clock for the anyway. Go on. I'm trying to buy a PS5, guys, and I missed.
So Scott Fitterer, Trent Richard. I would actually not go with them because I'm also looking at the team. The Seahawks are great, but I feel like I would rather go with somebody from the Chiefs because I feel like the Chiefs have been set up. One, they set themselves up slowly, and they also look like they're set up for a long run, right? It just seems like, and so I would rather go with somebody from the Chiefs side of football operations because one, like you said, I don't think the Falcons have that much problem in regards to personnel, right? I think we have good players. We have a good core. We have good young players. It's just, and Raheem Morris has proven this by showing like, look, once I get them doing their jobs right, they do good.
Yeah,
right.
And when we have people like Ridley out of the game, and a bunch of people missing, they still
it's a man up.
Well, yeah,
next man up and whatever. So okay, so just wanted to real quickly throw those five potential, see which one you're thinking of. Honestly, me and Zino don't know crap about the executive part
about
of it,
front office and yeah.
So you unfortunately I don't have fantasy football for Zino for GM positions or whatever. So anyways, but anyways, all right. So you want to go into the
No, I'm trying to buy a PlayStation.